I thought we did a good job defensively last week. We had 2 plays that got away from us, one in the pass, one in the run. And other than that, we played real well.
When you're facing a team like Seattle with Geno in the pocket, what is the key there for you guys there?
Play good defense. You know, when you're dealing with the run game, make sure you're rugged, make sure we're swarming, have big, strong line, talented backs, and when they're throwing it, rush and coverage go together.
I imagine, like everybody else on the planet who watched the play, the KJ Henry penalty was probably you didn't find that accurate. But the play itself, his getting to the quarterback for first game and all that. What did you think of that? And how did you think he looked at it?
No, it was good. I mean, obviously, that was one. We thought he did the right things there. And we had some young guys that showed up and played well in the game. Quan got the interception at the end. Emmanuel played well, played a bunch and played a lot better. So we had some contributions from some of the younger guys that are being called on to play, and that was good to see.
And Emmanuel, I was going to ask about him specifically. Mm-hmm. Obviously, he more involved and seemed to have a good game. What were some of the things that you thought he improved upon over what maybe you've seen in the previous week?
Well, I think he's just working at it. He's a good young player. We believe in him. He's just got to grind and work, and that's what he's done, and that allowed him to get himself back in the game, and then he played well.
In instances like KJ's sack, non-sack, how do you coach him after
sack,
that?
but he doesn't get credit for it.
Right, exactly. What do you tell him after that? How do you coach him?
I tell him I hope the league doesn't double down and send you a fine on top of it. That's what I told him. I said, won't surprise me, because they might. They sometimes will do that. But the reality is it should not have been a flag in the first place, and he should not receive a fine and do exactly what you did, because it was exactly how you should do it.
Right. I mean, not to harp on the frustration part of it,
yeah.
But as a coach, if it's unclear what the actual rule is.
No, I think it's clear. I think the rule's clear. I think any time the league tries to make an emphasis, then guys tend to come up with calls that are close to it and wrong. And to me, I would love to just see an emphasis on doing your job, officiating the game so that it's a fair contest. That's what it should be. We don't need to come up with calls to fit a certain window or to fill up a certain window. That's just not, to me, that's not what it should be about. It should just be a fair contest. Make sure it's fair.
One more about the pass rush. What did you like about it specifically last week?
What do you mean?
I guess, were there specific parts of the pass rush that stood out, obviously having...
I mean, anytime a team throws as much quick game as they throw, you're not going to get home a lot. I mean, but, the ball came out on time. He wasn't back there patting it and holding it forever. So what I like about it is that our defense played well. And, if a team doesn't want to get sacked and they want to throw a quick game all day, they can do that. 1, 2, throw. So, so everything was solid. We had a good, solid effort.
What makes Geno tough, specifically under pressure? It seems like he does pretty well, and also on the run, it seems like he's successful. What about him, I guess?
Geno just has played well. He's a veteran guy. He's seen a lot. He's experienced a lot. He's grown a lot, and he's become a good football player in this league. So he's earned it. I appreciate guys that work along through their career and are good pros.
Coach, obviously it's a week-to-week business, so everything changes, after every week. But coming into the season, a lot of people expected your unit to be kind of a top 10 group in the league, and they even said they wanted to be that group. Do you have a firm kind of belief on what is keeping your guys from being there?
Yeah, explosive plays allowed. That's been the big problem. We're playing solid in a lot of areas. But the explosive plays allowed, many of them kind of gift-type situations are the ones that keep us from ranking well and being able to beat our chest and say, look at our rank right here, which doesn't mean a whole lot. I think what really means the most is give your football team a chance to win, play complementary football, and make sure we're getting the ball back for our offense as often as possible.
And Coach Rivera said there are certainly some things you guys can take from the Eagles games earlier this year and into this one. Do you see some similarities between guys like A.J. Brown, D.K. Metcalf, and Devonta Smith? And
Big,
Tyler
strong
Lockett?
guys, yeah. I mean, certainly you could take that. I think, you look at the Eagles game, I kind of look at the reaction, the Cowboys and the Eagles. The Cowboys played, and it was like, oh, they were so close. And it's like, yeah, we've been through that twice. I understand what that means. You go out and you compete each week. It's a new week. It's a week-to-week league, more so than any other league I've ever seen. The NFL is week-to-week. And this week it's the Seahawks, and we need to get ourselves geared up and go out there and fight our butts off and find a way to win.
Anybody else?
Coach, kind of piggybacking off of facing another big physical receiver like DK Metcalf, with Emmanuel Forbes coming off of such a better game last week, are you guys trying to find ways to where maybe he doesn't match up with the physicality of a guy like DK, or is it just kind of however they line up is how you guys are going to line up?
Anybody want to answer him on any kind of scheme questions?
Well, he's going to follow up with something on Cinco, so just hold on.
No, it's every week we put together a plan, go out and hope to execute the best we can, and obviously, he's part of it. He's part of the plan.
What happened on that 64-yard run? Because we could see you talking to Jamin on the sideline.
Yeah.
And we heard Jonathan Vilma's explanation on the broadcast. But what
Right.
Was that accurate? What
Yeah.
happened? Okay.
It was accurate. Jonathan was right. Jonathan played a long time.
Yeah, I figured.
Yeah, he was right. We didn't fit it properly, and then we didn't cap it. Anything that pops through, if it ever goes long like that, there's somebody in the back end that didn't do their job in terms of capping and getting it down. That's just part of explosives. If you're having them, you're not capping them in the back end if they're runs, and you're letting the ball go over your head if it's a pass.
How much with the big plays is that some of the youth in the secondary provides a lot of?
Yeah, I mean, look, we could come up with reasons which would then be considered excuses, and we're just not going to get into that. But obviously, it's not what we're looking for. I like the amount that we had last week. I think holding people to one rush explosive and one pass explosive, that will meet our goal board. We have a defensive goal board, and that will meet our goal board each week. We just don't want it to be a 64-yard explosive.
Other times when you're looking at some of the, guys might be open, they're not hit, so it doesn't end up to be an explosive play, but if it's continued to hurt in other games, how do you look at those kind of plays?
No, we look at everything. That's what we do as coaches. But the bottom line is get our guys fired up, ready to go, prepared, full of energy, and then we go out and compete. And then we get to – it's kind of like we put our neck out there each week, right? And some weeks it gets chopped off. So
Take one more.
I like this week to be one of those weeks where it does not get chopped off. All right?
What else is on the goal board?
There are a few things. We'll talk about it another time.
Thanks, Coach.
All right. I mean, I'll give you that. That's not right this second.
You're like I gotta get.
I'll give you a picture of the whole thing. I mean,
Okay.
it's what we do.
I'll hold you to that.
All right. You got it.